Hello, today I am going to go over a solution to the chart practice workbook. So, if you're looking at this, you should first go review the YouTube video where I show you how to do charts. This isn't exactly the here's how you do charts video. This is you know how to do charts, or at least you've seen a video or read about it, and now you're going to practice it and see how it goes. So, let me show you the structure of this. So here's what I'm asking you to do this chart right here using this data. Here's what it should look like when you're done. Don't worry about the colors or anything like that, but what you do want to worry about for sure is any labels and the general shape of the chart. Color, not too important. I mean, it probably will be the same color, but I think the possibility exists that they could possibly push an update into Excel where the color scheme got changed. I just feel like I have heard that before, so. Alright, so I'm going to go through this. Like I said, this is not where you learn how to make charts. You need to already know how to make charts. This is just executing. So hopefully you do this on your own, and you look at this and you go, okay, I got it right. I don't think you shouldn't need this video, but I'm making this video just in case, just to help you maybe understand how this should go. Because I'll tell you, when it comes to charts, people, when I'm doing this in class, some people are kind of argumentative is the best way to explain it. They'll be like, I did the right things, and I say, I know you didn't do the right things, because if you do the right things, you'll get the right chart every time. Now, it's hard enough for me sitting over your shoulder to tell you what you did or didn't do wrong, because you can do a small mistake and it can throw things off, which is why I'm making this video here. If you do exactly what I tell you to do, it will work. If you try to do what I did and it doesn't work, then it means you didn't do what I did. Yes, I know those are pretty confusing sentences, but I'm trying to set this up before we get going. Alright, so insert a 3D pie chart below that'll represent the totals for each item. So 3D pie chart, that's the type of chart. Now when you're making charts, really, it's all about selecting the correct data in the first place. So what do I want to chart? What are my numbers? Totals for each item. Those are my items. Those are the totals for each item. Do not grab the stuff in row 8. That doesn't belong. You never want to mix subtotals with grand totals. It's wrong every time. Those are the numbers I want. Now there's no possible scenario where I don't also have to get the labels. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to hold down Control, and I'm going to grab this range as well. You either select that data and it works, or you don't and it probably doesn't work. So once I've selected it, I'm going to head over to Insert. I'm going to head into Pie Charts. Here's 3D Pie Chart. There's my wonderful chart. Notice my legend is not a bunch of garbage. My chart looks like a reasonable chart. The thing you want to look out for is if you have a big old half slice. So that's good. That is the end of this one. Now, there's all kinds of formatting you can do. Don't do any if I don't ask for additional formatting, then don't do additional formatting. Like, for example, if you wanted to put data labels on it, I wouldn't mark it wrong, but you're not going to get extra credit for it. If I don't tell you to give it a title, well, then I guess you don't need to rename the title. So, you're going to be constrained by time, so don't do stuff that you're not going to get credit for, is my suggestion for you. Alright, so just because this is the first one, let me show you some other ways you could have done this. So that was all good. The other thing you could have done is you could have grabbed this stuff in row 2 if you wanted. The thing is, if you're going to grab that thing in row 2, then you need to grab the thing in row 2 here too. You have to be consistent. In a pie chart, that row kind of doesn't matter. I'll show you. It's the same thing, basically. The difference is this one has a title on it. But that title's no good. You'd have to edit it just the same, so I say this is the same chart, right? Good legend, no weird half slice. Let me show you what a weird half slice looks like. A weird half slice is what happens when you grab the grand total. I know I said I wasn't going to teach you and I was just going to do a solution, but I know I'm doing a little bit of teaching here. So, see that? That's a weird half slice. That's what it looks like when you include the grand total, because everything adds up to the total. That is just a worse chart. This is what you care about, and these slices here are now half the size they were just because you're wasting a bunch of real estate on the total. So don't include the total. And, alright, there are other ways you can mess this up, but I don't know how I can help you with this in a video. Like I said, in class, I can kind of help people spot. Like, it's hard for me to tell even if I'm sitting there watching you do it, what you're doing wrong. So I don't even want to try to preemptively address every possible mistake you could make. But Long story short, grab a range, hold down control, grab another range. If those ranges have the same number of cells, you'll probably be okay. But what you can't do is something weird like just grab row 2 here and not here, or here and not here. You're not allowed to do that. Alright, so that's the revenue chart. Let's go look at coffee sales. So here we're going to do 2 charts, and I'm not going to sit here and talk about them as long because this video will just be too long. And there's a YouTube video where I show you how to make charts. Actually, I kind of gave you 2 of them. So create a 3D pie chart which shows the daily sales for March. Include data labels. Alright, so first thing you got to do, and one of the reasons people struggle with these is because they're not, a lot of people aren't great at reading and following instructions. So you got to figure out, what am I trying to graph? Daily sales for March. Those are the daily sales for March. Those are the labels that correspond to the numbers. This right here is going to be the end of it. Include data labels, so go ahead and turn on your data labels. There you go. Done. That was the first one. Now, you notice I didn't grab the stuff in column A. You can grab the stuff in column A or not grab the stuff in column A. If I was just sitting here trying to just tell you what I thought the best idea was long term, I would say do grab the stuff in column A. It just didn't work out with the way I was speaking when I made the chart. Pie charts are easy in that you can skip a few things that you can't in other charts. Alright, next one. Create a 3D column chart. New kind of chart that shows the daily sales for each month. Alright, daily sales for each month. These are dailies. These are each month. This sounds like that's the data I want. No grand totals. So that's the data you want. This would turn out horrific because it has no labels. I guess just for fun, I'll show you what it looks like. I have no idea what it's going to look like. That's a 3D column chart. Like, what a disaster. So my x-axis has completely nonsense labels. Whatever that axis is, I don't know why. I don't know what you call those. Nothing. My legend, nothing. Right? So if these labels aren't giving meaning to the chart, then you've made a mistake. So in this one, I need those labels and those labels. And so I'm just going to grab everything like that. You either select that range and get this right, or you don't select that range and you get this wrong. Period. There's no negotiating this one. That's the range. And now I'll go insert, and I'll go, what are we doing? A 3D column. And so notice now all my labels make sense. Those make sense, those make sense, those make sense. I don't have grand totals. So when you are evaluating whether your chart is correct or not, there's really 2 things you're looking at. One is, do my labels all make sense? And did I not include grand totals? Those are the 2 questions you ask. And if you can answer them with a yes, then you're all done. Alright, so that's coffee sales. On to more charts. Alright, so this one's kind of a weird one. I guess it is weird just because of the additional instructions. Insert a 3D line chart in a new sheet titled Super Chart. So new sheet called Super Chart. Let's deal with that later. That will represent the monthly totals. Title your chart monthly totals. Alright, so monthly totals. Well, here's my months. Those are my monthly totals. Now, there's no possible scenario where I don't also have to grab labels. In that previous example, I just grabbed everything in one big shot, and that's cool. You can do that sometimes. So insert. We're doing a 3D line chart. What in the heck's a 3D line chart? It's a 3D line chart. So you see how I hover over them and I get those tooltips? That's how you know what things are. You look at this and you're like, what the heck? That looks dumb. That is not a cool. That's definitely a dumb looking chart, but that's it. Line charts are weird. 3D line charts are even weirder. All right, so labels on the y-axis looking good. Labels on the x-axis looking good. That legend isn't looking good, but there's really not. It's going to be meaningless here. I want to give this thing a title. So if you want a title, there's the title. Monthly. Oh, so all I did there was just click on it and edit it. And now the interesting part about this one is the new sheet called Super Chart. So there's 2 ways to move a chart. One is you can right click and move a chart. Where is it? Move a chart. My eyes don't work so well. So I saw it. It's there. Or you can do it on the ribbon. It is on the design tab, move chart. Same thing. So new sheet, always new sheet. And we're calling it Super Chart. Never this one. Always that option. And there it is. So you see what it does? It takes a whole sheet in the workbook and makes it into a chart. Okay. This was weird because it was out of order, right? So I'm kind of off. You can move the order of the sheets if you want, like that. I'm doing it just to make myself a little more sane. And there is one more set of charts here. So if you're just following along with me doing this as I'm doing it, that would be fine. But please understand that my intent is that you can do this completely independently. This is just the video to help you if you're not able to do these on your own. You need to be able to do these on your own by the end of the week. So if you're doing this with a solution now, that's great. After this, why don't you try and just do it on your own? That's why I gave you answers. All right, so insert a 3D clustered column chart that represents January, March, and May for each item. All right, so here's January, here's March, here's May. How am I selecting those non-adjacent ranges? I'm holding down Control. So notice how I'm grabbing the labels here. Like when we were talking about pie charts, I said you don't necessarily need those. But for every other chart, you do need those. So it's a good idea to grab those, even though you don't always need them. Now, there's no possible scenario where I'm also, if I've got columns of data, I'm going to need a column of labels, like that. There's no possible scenario where you don't have to grab a corresponding row or column of labels. This is going to be a 3D clustered column. This is my favorite kind of chart. It's that guy right there. Looks good. Y-axis, my labels are good. X-axis, my labels are good. Legend, my labels are good. I don't have grand totals in there. Title, your chart sales figures. I just click on it if you're wondering what I did. Isn't that annoying that I can't... It says chart area, like I can't see what I'm typing. There we go. That's what happens when you can't see what you're typing. You type too many S's. And there we go, right? So that looks like that. So I walked you through this just in the event that you're having a hard time with it. Because this is really, what this is I really like doing this exercise in class. And usually, I mean, I have to sit down and kind of help a couple people. This is where you realize what you don't understand, or we iron out some mistakes that you're making. The fact that we're doing this online, I don't know how to iron out those mistakes, but you saw me do it. I'm telling you, if you select the right data, then you're going to have the right chart. If you don't have the right chart, then it means you didn't select the right data. And I know that doesn't exactly provide a solution for you, but it makes it, it brings you a little closer to understanding what the issue is. So hopefully, if you needed a lot of help on this, well, do it until it makes some sense for you, because you're going to keep doing charts. Charts are one of the more important things in Excel. They're not the easiest thing. It is kind of weird that we start off with them. In every textbook I've ever seen, they're either the first or the last thing, which is weird. But it's a useful skill, so practice this. I gave you a couple videos on it, and thanks for watching. Now I just have to find the button to stop this recording. All right, thanks for watching.